For centuries, northern China faced a creeping, relentless threat. Not an army, but the Gobi and Kabuki deserts. These vast seas of sand, stretching for hundreds of kilometers, seemed to grow larger with every passing year, their boundaries inching ever closer to the heart of human civilization. These deserts advanced each year, driven by fierce winds, swallowing grasslands, farms and villages. The land that once supported generations of families was slowly being erased, replaced by endless dunes and shifting sands. The sand moved like a slow tsunami, turning fertile land into barren wasteland. Crops withered, water sources dried up, and the green fields that once flourished became nothing more than memories, lost beneath a blanket of dust. Dust storms, known as the Yellow Dragon, choked the air, spreading misery for thousands of kilometers, even reaching Beijing. Farmers lost their topsoil, livestock starved, and the very air became a hazard, thick with grit and sand that blotted out the sun. Sandstorms grew more frequent and deadly, transforming daily life into a constant struggle for survival. Roads vanished beneath waves of sand and entire communities found themselves isolated, cut off from the outside world. The economic toll was immense, with billions lost annually and entire communities forced to consider abandoning their homes. Businesses shuttered, schools closed, and the promise of a better future seemed to fade with each passing storm. The environmental crisis was not just local, it was national, disrupting cities and daily life far from the desert's edge. Even in bustling metropolises, the effects of the encroaching desert could not be ignored, as skies turned yellow and health warnings became routine. The desert's advance felt unstoppable, a force too powerful to resist. Each year the sand crept closer, threatening to erase the hard work and history of countless generations. People built barriers, planted grasses, and tried every method they could imagine, but the sand always returned, burying their efforts and hopes beneath its relentless tide. Many felt despair, as if they were fighting a losing war against the land itself. The sense of helplessness grew, as families watched their homes and livelihoods slip away. Some retreated, leaving ancestral homes behind. Generations of memories and traditions were left to be swallowed by the desert, as families sought safety elsewhere. A great silence threatened to fall, a world slowly returning to sand, as if nature itself was reclaiming what once belonged to it, leaving behind only echoes of human life. Faced with disaster, as the relentless desert crept forward, swallowing villages and farmland, the people of China stood at a crossroads. The land was drying, the winds grew harsher, and hope seemed to fade with every passing year. But China chose to fight back, refusing to let the sands dictate their future. Leaders, scientists, and ordinary citizens came together, determined to reclaim their homeland from the encroaching desert. In the late 1970s, a bold idea emerged: the Great Green Wall, a living barrier of trees and shrubs to halt the desert's advance. It was a vision as ambitious as it was urgent, born from necessity and hope. The plan was vast, targeting an area the size of Western Europe. It would stretch for thousands of kilometers, transforming barren wastelands into living, breathing forests. It became a national mission, mobilizing citizens, soldiers, and civil servants. From bustling cities to remote villages, people of all ages joined hands in a common cause. Armies of planters braved the harsh sun, planting millions of saplings. Each tree was a symbol of resilience, a small act of defiance against the desert's might. They laid straw grids to anchor the sand, using ancient wisdom and modern science to stabilize the shifting dunes and give new life a chance to take root. In places like the Kabuki Desert, the task seemed impossible, yet hope persisted. Against all odds, communities pressed on, driven by the dream of green horizons. This was more than planting trees. It was an attempt to re-engineer entire ecosystems, to restore balance where it had been lost, and to bring water, shade, and life back to the land. The hope was to change the local climate, to invite rain where there was drought, and to cool the burning sands with the shade of new forests. The Great Green Wall was a promise. Humanity would not surrender to the desert. It was a declaration that people and nature could work together to heal the wounds of the past. It was a vision for generations, not just years. Children, parents, and grandparents all took part, knowing their efforts would shape the world for those yet to come. Seeds of a new future were sown in the most unlikely places. Each sprout was a testament to perseverance, a sign that even the harshest landscapes could be transformed. The battle for the land had begun, and with every sunrise hope grew stronger, as green slowly reclaimed the golden sands. The world watched with skepticism, doubting China's audacious plan. Critics called it a fantasy. How could forests grow in a desert? Early efforts relied on monocultures, planting single species vulnerable to disease and pests. Many saplings died, and the survival rate was low. International media mocked the project as a top-down folly. Even local farmers doubted the saplings could stop the dunes. The project's early years were marked by trial and error, with little visible progress. Mistakes were made, wrong species, poor survival, wasted resources. For years the narrative was one of failure. The desert seemed to be winning. The green line was fragile, often broken. The yellow dragon's advance continued. Doubt and disappointment overshadowed hope. The world wondered if the dream would ever become reality. Failure forced a new approach, one that would learn from the land itself. The project shifted from brute force planting to science-led restoration. Planners carefully chose native species, sea buckthorn, sand willow, and desert poplar, each uniquely suited to survive harsh conditions. Innovative water-saving techniques like drip irrigation and hydro-seeding were developed and refined. Straw grids or baoyin stabilized shifting sand and protected young plants from wind. Over time, these methods transformed sterile sand into living, fertile soil. Local communities became true partners, not just laborers, in the restoration effort. Farmers received long-term leases and training in eco-friendly businesses, empowering them for the future. They grew profitable crops like licorice and cistanche, linking prosperity directly to the land's health and resilience. The project soon became a model of sustainable development for arid regions. Success depended on science, adaptation, and deep community involvement. The blueprint for a green miracle was finally taking shape, inspiring hope for the future. After years of effort, the desert began to change. Flecks of green appeared, spreading year by year. Saplings grew into shrubs, meadows, and young forests. Satellite images revealed a stunning transformation. Vast dunes frozen under a carpet of vegetation. The Great Green Wall was no longer a line but a thriving region. The new forests slowed desert winds, reducing sandstorms and cleaning the air. Rainfall increased, breaking the cycle of drought. Water returned to the soil, streams flowed again, and wildlife came back. Biodiversity soared as insects, birds, and animals returned. The desert was not just stopped, it was in retreat. A green tide pushed back against the yellow. The land was coming back to life. The project's success was visible from space, and undeniable on the ground. The impossible was happening. The true impact of these efforts was revealed in the everyday lives of those who called the desert's edge their home. For generations, families had struggled against shifting sands and relentless winds, their villages threatened by encroaching dunes. But now, a new chapter was unfolding. Farmers like Gao Maohu, who once watched their fields disappear beneath waves of sand, now thrived amid the shade of poplar forests they had helped to plant. Their hard work and determination had turned barren land into fertile ground, and hope began to take root alongside the trees. With the return of greenery, ecotourism blossomed. Visitors arrived to walk forest trails where only sand once stretched, and new businesses, cafes, guest houses, and markets lifted entire communities out of poverty, creating jobs and new opportunities for local families. Women in villages like Beige found new independence and pride through planting teams. Once limited to household roles, they became leaders in the fight against desertification, earning respect and financial freedom as they worked side by side to restore the land. Yin Yuzhen, once dismissed as mad for her dreams, transformed barren land into a thriving green oasis with her husband. Their story inspired neighbors and strangers alike, showing what vision and perseverance could achieve. "We didn't just plant trees, we planted hope," she said, her voice echoing the spirit of countless others who refused to give up. Each sapling was a promise to future generations. The younger generation grew up in a world transformed. Some became desert rangers, patrolling the new forests and protecting them from harm, while others became entrepreneurs, building businesses rooted in the green landscape their parents had created. Technology and tradition worked hand in hand. Drones sprayed saplings, while elders taught the art of planting by hand. Modern irrigation systems flowed alongside ancient wells, ensuring the forests would endure. The future was green, and opportunity replaced hardship. Where once there was only struggle, now there was abundance, fields thrived, and children played where sandstorms once raged. Communities found pride and ownership in their land. They gathered to celebrate their achievements, sharing stories and dreams for the generations yet to come. They became guardians, not victims, of their environment. Together they watched over the forests, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated. Their homes were secure, their air clean, and their children's future bright. The transformation was visible in every smile, every breath of fresh air, and every hopeful glance toward tomorrow. The transformation was as human as it was ecological, a testament to the power of community, resilience, and the belief that even the harshest landscapes can be reborn. As China's deserts bloomed and life returned to the sands, the world took notice with amazement. Skepticism gave way to admiration. Headlines around the globe spoke of a green miracle unfolding before our eyes. Journalists and experts from many countries flocked to witness the transformation firsthand. The United Nations hailed the project as a global model for land restoration and environmental hope. Awards soon followed, including the prestigious Champions of the Earth honor. China, once criticized for its environment, became a recognized leader in ecological restoration. The project's shift to science, diversity, and community involvement was celebrated worldwide. The Great Green Wall was no longer hubris, it had become a symbol of hope. The world saw that even the most damaged landscapes could be revived and brought back to life. The gentle rustling of new leaves in the wind silenced all doubt and inspired millions. China's battle with the desert is a lesson for the world. It shows the power of long-term vision and patience. True change takes decades. Success came from adapting, learning, and listening to science and local knowledge. The shift from monocultures to biodiversity and from top-down orders to community partnership was key. Linking restoration to economic opportunity created millions of guardians for the land. The project proved we don't have to choose between nature and prosperity. Investing in the environment can drive development and lift people from poverty. The greening of China's deserts redefines what's possible. It inspires nations everywhere to take on their own ecological challenges. With patience, wisdom, and collective will, humanity can help heal the world.